Hey, welcome to Digging into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Tiller Coaching. Well, thank you for joining me on day 10. We are still looking at Matthew 5 and the Sermon on the Mount. Before we get there, I just have to call it out. There's a lot of orange happening up in here. And if you're watching on YouTube, you see this orange wall and you see this beautiful new orange curtain. Ooh, shout out to my sister Debbie. They are perfect. You also see this orange hat. I was just trying to bring the festivity today as we celebrate double digits. I realize it's overkill, so forgive me if you're blinded by the light here. Let's go ahead and dig into Matthew 5, starting at verse 13. I love this section so much, so I don't want to delay. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a dot will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. I love that section so much. Can I tell you what I really love? I love salt. I love salt to an unhealthy level. I haven't gotten it checked in a while, but I'm sure if I were to go to a doctor, it would reveal that my blood pressure is just a wreck because I love salt. I don't know if you've ever been to this place, but you need to. It's called Lion's Choice. It's a fast food restaurant in St. Louis. It's like Arby's, but way better. It's on steroids. I'm telling you, it's so good. You can pour this au jus right on top of the sandwich, and then, ooh, check this out. You shake on some of the famous seasoning. Oh, and it's perfect. Just shake that on for about 15 minutes, and then you're ready to go. Take a bite of that sandwich, and the flavor just explodes. It's so good. And that's what salt does. Salt brings the flavor. It has a very exact purpose. And, that analogy, along with the light analogy, there is purpose between these two things. Salt and light, they have purpose. And I really want to share this story with you that I just realized this thought about purpose. I remember being down at Honey Lake Clinic, getting ready early morning for a therapy session. I was sitting outside of this building, and all of a sudden there's this like super loud noise that comes out of nowhere. I'm like, where is that? What is that? On this tree next to me, there's a woodpecker just going to town, just bashing its face like 1,000 times a minute. And I'm like, wow, woodpeckers are more than cartoons. That's like a real animal, and I do not understand this animal's purpose. But as I'm sitting there mulling this thought over, I realize it's got to have a purpose. God did not make a mistake on the woodpecker. I might not understand it, but there is a purpose. And that's what I think this section is really talking about, that there is a purpose to us. Jesus is talking about his purpose. His purpose is to fulfill the law. Both of these sections are talking about the kingdom of heaven, that we are to do great to share the kingdom of heaven with others. And it really gets down to this fact that we have a purpose. If a woodpecker has purpose, man, you better believe you and I have purpose. So I want to get close and personal here, and I want to tell you, you are not a woodpecker. You have great purpose. You might not know exactly what that means or what that is, but I believe it to be true. And so I hope that you go on a great journey, especially as you dig into this book, that you're able to begin to get a grip on what your purpose is, because it's so important. Jesus is all about it, and that's what he's talking about here. So I want to actually end on time today for the first time ever. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you listening. Tomorrow we continue on with Matthew 5 and the Sermon on the Mount. I will see you then.